Hey guys, I am going to stand for this or kind of stand sit for this one. I just thought I would give you guys another story time. I was feeling under the weather today. So I'm finally feeling better. So I'm just up cleaning. I'm gonna go to the grocery store. I'm gonna go to the gym. I'm trying to get reset, get back on schedule. Just been a lot of stuff trying to get my life. My son's going into his senior year, so I'm just trying to get things together. It's been a crazy summer. Um, okay. Anyways, we are going to talk about how I got catfished. So this is a cautionary tale. Um, this is for those that are doing online dating, and hopefully it's not going to be a long point. But the first pointers I want to say is one, um, when you're online dating, be sure to meet the person as soon as possible, not at your home. Two, you want to talk to the person or FaceTime them. I just got an iPhone, so anyways, but whatever your phone, if you have a smartphone, you want to actually do some sort of video chat. And I think Google has an option, and there's probably some other apps out there that you want to do. So, this is a cautionary tale because I knew enough because I had those texting ships or texting ships issues. So I knew enough that I wanted to actually do those things. I said, okay, I learned my lesson. I want to meet as soon as possible and I want to talk to the person. So I narrowed my search down because at first I kind of had the DMV, so like Northern Virginia. I had DC, of course, which is easy to get to through just driving, train. And I had certain parts of Maryland. I'm narrowing my search down to sort of anything that's around Fort Meade, Prince George's County, and I think it had excluded DC. I wanted something that was like literally going to take me 20 to 30 minutes, nothing longer than that. So, I someone clicked or winked. I was on Plenty of Fish. Ooh. You notice a lot of my stories, like real. It's just I don't know, and I've met some cool people on Plenty of Fish, so I shouldn't say that. But it's a very that site. Hopefully, it's boding well for someone else. So I end up. Someone reached out to me and was like, "I really like your profile. You have a wonderful smile. I'm a widow. I have a son. Please check out my profile." They reached out to me like I would reach out to them. So I was like, oh, okay. So the person was a white guy. I don't care, but very attractive white guy. I was like, okay. What caught my eyes when he was a father and he served in the military. These are things again, I really like. I think that speaks a lot about a person. Even though I know people have different intentions and motivations for why they do anything, even attending the church, and that's a whole nother video or a set of videos, um, or a series. Because I think people make an assumption that if you have a belief system or you believe in God or if you're Jewish or Muslim or Christian or Catholic, that they believe you that you are not going to have any issues, that your motivations for joining those organizations is one of positivity, and that doesn't necessarily mean that's true. Or it means that maybe you do truly believe it, but your weaknesses, you're not really willing to work on your weaknesses. So they kind of overtake you, even though you may have a belief system. Sorry, guys. I get sidetracked. Guys, I get sidetracked. My bad. So anyway, so we're going to this, how I got catfished and how I don't want you guys to do what I've done. And I think I'm willing to say that be careful. Make sure you know your motivations for dating or talking to people. And like I said, I talk to a lot of young folks or younger women that I try to like mentor and just talk to. And for some reason, they have to be in communication with a guy, even if he's a bum or a homosexual or something like that. They can't just be without a partner, without someone you're talking to, without someone you're sleeping. Just focus on your kids, focus on your purpose if you don't have kids. Just they seem like they have to be in communication with someone. So, and I just know why you're dating. I think during that time, I was still hopeful. I really want to get married. I wanted to date, I want to date someone, that one person I was willing to look through. And I was under the belief, even after my experience with my ex-fiance, that there's rules to the game. There's rule to this dating game. If you put out that you want A, B, and C, and someone else put out that he wants A, B, and C, and it's the same, that there's rules, that there's a decorum, that there's da da da. No, most of the world is made up of manipulators and individuals that say anything to get what they want. They're listening to your story and they're perusing your profile to see how they can become the person that you say you want, or how can they take advantage of you. I'm not saying that's 100% of what's out there, but I think the majority of people that are out online dating and in person, I think that's what the motivation is. And I see that as something different, as saying you actually have a set of standards that you're looking for, and that's a little different, like, just upfront with people. But I think for the most part, that's what I found in my experience thus far. So get back to the catfish. Reaches out to me. He's not sexual at all. Just, hey, you said, well, I think in my profile I talk about I like to play tennis and salsa dancing. And Tina's like, oh, I would always like to go salsa dancing. I'm in Baltimore City. That's not far from you. There's a lot of cool places I know. And I'm like, oh, that's great. And so we end up going back and forth in the POF messenger. And I don't have the app, but just the, email. And I was like, oh, okay. So he's like, he's in the military. He served. He's Irish American. And I was like, oh, okay, that's pretty cool, And I don't know, we just talk, and I was like, how old is your daughter? If what happened with your wife? He's like, oh, it was cancer. I'm like, that cancer. I hate cancer. I hate all illnesses. I just hate that one so much. I really do. And so I'm just like, oh, okay, he seemed like really close relationship with his mom. Again, this is what he's telling me we hadn't talked yet. And I said, this is what I said to him, because I put disclaimers. I think I'm going to try to recover my profile so I can show you this is my profile, but my disclaimer. I put not interested in group sex. I said I love the LGBTQ, but I'm not interested in anything a part of that. And I just put all these disclaimers. I'm not here for casual, not here for hotep, like people that are really like down for the cause. I put this disclaimer. I thought it was kind of funny, but also telling the truth. Like I'm not here for texters, just people that just don't want to meet up. I hadn't added catfishing to the list until this experience. So said, look, I've sort of been proverbially burned, not literally, thank God, burned by this app and this whole situation. So since you're just kind of, you're in the city, I would love to just meet, for a drink or coffee. It's like, oh yeah. And if you feel comfortable, instead of going back and forth on the email, like, can we just call each other? So he's like, cool. So he calls me from a number. The number is a Baltimore number. I'm saying this for a lot of reasons. It's a Baltimore number. He calls me and I was like, Cappy. I was like, but I couldn't understand him. He had a very strong accent. And I was like, man, your accent, again, where are you from? He's like, I'm from Ireland. I'm like, well, how do you serve in the U.S. military? I'm so confused. And so if anyone knows, with all the immigration conversations, like I said, I don't have TV, and I've sort of taken a hiatus from the news, even though I'm a poli-sci international relations major, and I love that, but I had to take a break because I just think it's so polarizing right now and I can't even do it. I'm just like kind of like so what's the deal with what was I talking about, guys? Oh yeah, well, your accent. Why is your accent is so strong? And it sounded, I want y'all, because I told you I had years prior, like in my 20s, I had dated for a brief period a half African, half Nigerian, half Black American, and his family, and I went to a wedding, and he didn't have it. He had, that guy that I dated, the half African, half Black American, he didn't have an accent, but when I went to a wedding, a lot of people had accents or something. And so just I'm throwing this out here. So when I got on the phone with him, he was like, Ireland. I said, man, it sounds like someone that a friend of mine from years ago, I didn't say friend that I was dating, but friend from years ago, it sounds like African. Like, were you like part of an immigrant community? Like, you guys know, so I told you I'm analytical, but I didn't know you really needed to be that way in your relationships. I just was like trying to, because I could really annoy people with that. So I asked my son, I try not to. I have a good heart, but it's just, I don't, it can be annoying. And so he was like, no, yeah, I know some. It's very international in Ireland. You got to come. It's beautiful. And it was really hard to understand him. He's like, this is why I stick to texting. And the reason why I'm in the American Army is because at the time, that was one way to get your citizenship. And for certain countries, I don't know. It's like he was explaining that. I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. Some of my friends that I know, like that I used to work with, when I had various jobs, that's the way they kind of got their citizenship, is through joining the military and serving our country. So I was like, that's a cool deal. And, so what have you, it made sense to me. So he was just like, okay, let's meet up. Let's say it was a Thursday. He's like, let's meet up Friday, like tomorrow. Let's meet up, tomorrow. Great. I can meet you right after work. What's a good time? This, second, third. We could do a happy hour or something. And so I don't have access to my phone. I'm kind of out and about with my actual job, my actual full-time job. I'm like out and about. So I really don't have access to media or anything, which is good. I love it. I'm like moving stuff and making sure things get where they need to go. And so when I checked my phone when work was over, I'm like, okay, I'm about to go to happy hour. It was like a text. I'm actually getting on, I'm heading to Afghanistan, and I'm a part of a rapid expeditionary force or something where da 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 da. And I will call you from when I get there. You may not recognize the number, but it's me or whatever. So now going back to my ex who had deployed to Afghanistan, it was actually like a legit sort of, okay, because they don't really know. They get a ballpark of when they're leaving and when they're coming back, because it's just for security reasons. So it makes sense to me, or maybe they just don't know or whatever. Everything's, I don't know. So everything made sense. And I was just like, oh my goodness, you're going to please be safe. Now, I know y'all are saying, Paula, now I know better now. Come on. But everything seems legit, and he had sent so many pictures, and he was so attentive. So just stay with me. So over the next month, it's literally where he would call and he would text from like this number. And then he was just like I'm not even playing no games. When I get back from this deployment, like I really, like, you're just a person, like I really feel like we have a connection, want to settle down with. So I'm like, because I am a romantic, so and I'm an empath too. So if that helps me, when I'll do some videos on that. I'm a romantic empath, and I was naive. I say was, so I'm not that anymore. So I'm literally like, man, thank God I don't have to be on this online dating, or dating in this world is crazy. This one has a child. He's like serious. He's honorable. And I'm going to tell you something I did that you do not do. I gave him, my email was fine, but I think you should create another email. You shouldn't give people your personal email. I think you should have another email that's just for dating. And I'll go over tips in another video. And two, I gave him my home address because he was like, I want to send you some things, and I just want to let you know I'm thinking about you. So he ended up sending me some flowers. They're beautiful. But let me tell you what happened. I have a young friend. She's in her early 30s. I think she's in her mid 30s, but at the time she's in her early 30s. She's all out in these streets. And I still wasn't talking to my bestie about, because my bestie is married now. She was engaged at this point. And I don't know. So maybe I felt like I don't want to bother her with these, like, these are just, I'm out in these dating streets. Why bother her with that, which I should have bothered her. I think I said, man, I think I found a good guy or whatever. I think that's what I left it at. I said, I don't want to jinx it. So I'm sitting there, whatever. So I'm put all this stuff. So my friend was like, and I sent her a picture. We did the 5 love languages. Like, we were emailing. So I sent them the test. What are your 5 love languages? And if you're in a relationship, or you should actually, I may leave the link. It's like a really good book and a really good link. It sort of assesses your love languages, and it helps couples, because if someone has a love language of service and another one has a love language of affection or words of affirmation, it helps it helps that other person to kind of demonstrate their feelings for you, and it helps you demonstrate their feelings for them. Because sometimes we may be thinking we're showing someone that we love them, and they, because we have different love languages, it's not really you're not communicating that message. Anywho, and I end up sending a picture of his kids, his profile to my young friend, and now I know to do that ever. I know to do. I not normally do. I did that with Mr. GoFundMe. I did that with Mr. Southwest. And she's like a social media investigator. There should be a job like she would be. She's like a social media investor, PI, private investigator, and she was just really concerned. She's like, So remember, I work for DOD. I have several friends that serve. Thank you for your service, men and women that are serving in every capacity all over the world. I know people and researcher and the academic that they're all over. So she's like, and she does as well. She knows way more people. She's like, what's his name? And I'm going to see what base is he at? She was getting all those informations. And I gave it to her, and she's like, no one, I know people that are out there, they don't know him. And I was like, okay, now I'm starting to scratch my head. I'm like, okay. Then she says, send me all of the information. And she found this site, or I think it's 2 sites that she runs people through. And this is not her job at all. She just does this on her own. She found a site where it's for people that have been found out to catfish. And she found his profile. And it basically had his picture, but that person was from Nigeria is what the 2 sites. I'm going to see if she's willing to give it to me so I can help you guys out. Hopefully this story time, you are not going to get that far. And she was just like, Paula, this is not who you say. This is not the person. This person doesn't even know, maybe even his profile has been stolen. So be on the lookout, guys. When you put your profile out there, your pictures, even if you put that caveat, like, this is just for Plenty of Fish, this is just for OK Cupid, or Coffee Meets Bagel, a person, they're bad guys out here, or people that have ill intention, that will go and use your pictures, your profile for whatever they need to use it, and you'll never know the wiser. And so she found it. And so I was like so freaked out. One, because I gave him my home address. I'm like so freaked out. And she was like, you should be fine, because normally they're sitting over in whatever country they're in, and they're just doing this 24 hours. They just do this 24 hours. That's what they do. And I was just like, what kind of world is this? So I couldn't let it go. I was just like, I confronted him, and then I actually he had several aliases that he went by, the Nigerian person who used this person's profile. And I called him one of those, because he was like, no, that's not true. Now people be playing these games on online dating, like da 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 da. And I said, his name, stop with the lies. Like, please don't ever contact me. And you should be ashamed of yourself. And I'm not, I don't know what's going on in your country or just the type of people that are out there, but that's just not what you do. And you will reap what you sow. And maybe you just don't care, because you're talking to people of different cultures. They don't, maybe different religious beliefs or no religious beliefs, or it doesn't matter. So I was like, do not contact me. And but I did reach out to Plenty of Fish, and I sent the information to them and his account and everything like that. So when I went back to check, he had erased his profile. But I had screenshot it, because my friend, who's like the investigator, and so could I be embarrassed? Not really. I'm here to tell you guys to be careful with all types of dating, all types of meetups, just meeting people in general. And I don't know if you all noticed, and maybe we just get more information because of the information age, but it seems like people are not, they seem like they're a lot more sensitive. They're not able to handle, like, if you break up, or if they lose their job, or they're just not able to handle, like, their emotions, and you just never know. So I would always tell people, be very careful with dating, online dating, meet people in person, do checks. You can do background checks on people like whitepages.com. You can do criminal checks on people. There are probably some other organizations out there where you can do that. Like, this is your life. And my first thing is, like, when you meet someone, instead of just talking to them, if you have the capability on your phones, I would FaceTime them. That's what I would do now. I mean, I'm taking a break for some other reasons. Um, but I want to give you guys what not to do, and do not give anyone your personal information. Do not let them come to your home. Do not meet them at their home. Do not let them pick you up. Do not let them anything like that. Even if they say, "Oh, I'll send an Uber" or anything like that, do not. Do not. It's not worth it. I hope this helps, but that is my catfishing story with my Nigerian, I was going to say prince in quotes. But again, this is not to cast aspersions on any Nigerian people of Nigerian descent or anything like that. It's just that what site she went to, that's what they were able to trace it. And the reason why he had a Baltimore number, and it goes back to what my ex did. People that are manipulators, sometimes people are able to, there are these software out here, things out here where people are able to call, and it seems like they're calling from a certain area, but they could be in, Botswana or something, but it can show that they're calling from Baltimore. And so that's what I realized, that he had this scam down. So just be careful out there. I know you may want companionship, or you're lonely, or you just get impatient. Be patient. You do not want to, some of these people, the spirits, their intentions, you do not want to invite them in your life. They do not mean any good. And I just think about this saying, I could do all bad by myself. I can do bad all by myself. And I know it seems kind of like I'm giving these like funny or horrible stories, but there are some positive stories of people meeting. But just be careful, be cautious, and use this. Guard this, but use your intelligence, use your brain. And I hope this helps someone out there. Bye, guys.